Hello, besties. Well, welcome to Cozy Chats, the podcast for chronically exhausted entrepreneurs who are trying to build a cozy business that works for them. My name is Randi. I am a low energy business and marketing strategist. And on this podcast, I chat with other chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs to learn how they are building and adapting their businesses to fit their lives. On today's episode, I'm talking to Tiffany Leader. She is a social worker and CEO. And we're going to be talking about burnout, that big scary thing, and how to avoid it, of course. So get cozy and let's go. Hey, Tiffany, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, I am so grateful to be here.
You dealt with the technological issues because, oh my gosh,
Yeah, that was
tech
crazy
is
last
just
time.
going to burn me out in itself these days.
Yes, I would agree. I've had some issues too.
It's a constant thing these days, but it is what it is. And if we want to build our little businesses online and stay home, it
We
is
gotta
what we
have
deal
it.
with and
Yeah.
connect with people from all over. Where are you again?
Yeah, so I'm currently in Springfield, Missouri. But fun fact about me and my husband, we do RV life and van life. Typically we in the past we've been full time. But we kind of planted here on accident I say on accident, but divine appointment in Missouri to be with family. And we're actually getting ready to get back out on the road, which I'm really excited about because being on the road, new adventure, exploration is my way of preventing burnout in my life.
Love that. That sounds so fun and exciting. Where are you going this time?
We don't know yet.
Oh, I love that even more.
Yeah. So
I am that fun mix of autism and ADHD that both really needs to have a plan and
same.
really loves spontaneity. So
Yes.
my way of doing it would have to be I have a general direction and a set of things that I want to hit, but no general day to day. We have to be here.
Yes, exactly. And it's all contingent on my husband's new job. So we're just kind of waiting to see what they roll out. We kind of know general areas of where it might be, but we are just
Do you,
staying open at the same
do you
time.
stay in the States?
So for now we will, but there is opportunity for international travel, which is super exciting as well. So,
So,
um,
around summer, I am in Western Canada, BC, in the Okanagan.
yes.
Come check it out. It
Yeah.
is it is pristine. It's like California, but nicer.
Ooh,
Nicer
gotta be good.
people.
Yeah.
I mean, not to start that debate.
No, we will. I was like,
No, I'm in a valley area. We get super sunny, super nice weather, which is actually a struggle for me, but so nice. And if
yeah,
you're doing the camping thing, EC is where you want to be.
I know we want to come, it's on our bucket list to be in the BC at some point. I don't know if there's going to be opportunity with his work, but for vacation trip, we would love to be up there because we love
There's so many beautiful
off-roading and
places. Yeah.
camping. Yeah, there's so many places up there.
My husband's big into off-roading. He does he has his own channel doing all of that and
That's
loves
awesome.
exploring in the mountains. I love going with him and stuff too. I'm not a huge camper.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm more of a I need my space and
Space.
my
Hmm.
bathroom and my
Yeah.
heat pack. And the last time we did camp, he did make sure to get an extra generator that could run my heat pack because
Yes.
my husband.
We like to say we like to bougie camp. We love a good primitive camp, but the older we get, the more we're like, we kind of bougie camp. We've got the heated blankets, we've got the power
And you
sources.
said you do it in
Just
an RV.
Yeah, we have it and well, we mix it up. So we have a rooftop tent on our truck. So sometimes if we just want to do that, we actually just built out a van this last year. It's not fully equipped, but it's enough to we can make it in cooler seasons. and we have fallen in love with van life. We thought we would, but we had an opportunity
Always
to get a
wanted to do
van,
that.
and oh, it's just easier. It's easier than the RV because the RV you got to think of like more of logistics of where we're parking it, where we're going. We got to make sure it's big, so we've got to make sure that we have the space for it and all of that. Whereas the van, you can just like zip right into a parking lot and you're
Yeah.
fine.
And do you work from the road?
Yes, yes. So my business is fully virtual. It's designed this
So
way
please
to
do tell us
travel.
all about your business and what you do now.
Yeah, yeah. So I own a mental health and wellness company. It's called See the Wonder because I truly believe observing the awe and wonder in the world, aka through travel, but through any wherever you're at, observing the awe and wonder in the world starts the process of healing. Specifically when it comes to burnout and compassion fatigue, because we are so tired, overwhelmed, and exhausted. And if we can take a moment and just observe what's around us, I love like nerding out about like sound frequencies and color psychology because nature is designed to soothe and soothes our nervous system. So even just taking a step outside and listening to the birds or hearing the trees or observing the sunset, those are the places where our body's going to start relieving some of that stress that is being built up that leads to burnout and compassion fatigue.
So do you do do you do therapy or counseling, or what kind of services do you offer?
Yeah, so we offer a little bit of a mix of services. We do have a virtual practice that is um therapy services that are it's in Florida and Nevada right now is where we're serving on that side. We hope the interstate compact for the social work license will start to open up. Once they do that, they're supposed to pass it this month and we're hoping they'll get that started so we can be in more states, which will be really awesome. And
Kind of just
then
like what defines where you can work as a counselor and such?
yeah, yeah, that's our therapy license is based on the state. So if the
Yeah.
interstate compact passes, then the states that opt into the compact, we can see clients in those states and be in those states
Okay.
as
If
well.
anybody happens to be watching this from Canada and knows that if we are the same or different, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that'd be nice if you could just, like, spread it out. It's so funny
Yeah,
how they do that, like and I mean,
I know.
I know some of the medical rules are like that too in Canada, and, like,
Yes.
it's by province, and it's like, people and their brains, like, how we function doesn't really change province to province and state to state, so
Right. And there's a lot more travel. There's a lot more people going in and out of different places, or maybe has a second home somewhere, or they like to vacation for a longer term. Or like for me, I think of myself. I'm gonna be on the road in a bunch of different states. Like I'm hopeful,
Yeah,
eventually for me, because I would love to like jump back into therapy myself. I would eventually would love to have a therapist that I know that I can be in whatever state
yeah.
and it's fine. So
That's
that's
so silly that it wouldn't be. Like, I can
I
understand, like, maybe your insurance needs to be in the same place or something, I don't know, just for, like, the bureaucratic bullshit of it all, but,
yeah. No,
like,
even that I don't
no.
even understand. And that's why I have the coaching side of my business too, is that it's outside of those parameters. Part of my burnout was being tired of the red tape. I still am involved in the red tape a little bit, but I've developed the coaching side of my business to kind of step outside of the red tape. And I really wanted to specialize in burnout and compassion fatigue for people that don't need a deep dive into therapy, but they're like, I know I'm dealing with this. I'd love to have some support. I need some skills. I need to learn some
Yeah.
things and some skills to kind of move forward in my life. And it's kind of developed into like I've had opportunities to do trainings with organizations, nonprofit organizations, and helping professionals. That's kind of
That
my
would be
people is other helping professionals and service providers
yes.
because I'm really passionate about shifting the culture in the organization.
Yes.
Over
'Cause
my
isn't it weird?
career.
Like, I've worked in healthcare for a lot of years. I
Mhm.
did work in healthcare for a lot of years, and I
Yeah.
couldn't do it anymore because it was bad for my health. Because,
Right.
like, the people that I was working with, the, like, bureaucratic side of it, the, like,
Yes.
hours of it, like,
Yeah.
none of it was conducive to being healthy and living a
Being
good
a
life.
human.
Yeah, being a human, like, it was
Be
so hard, and I was like, "How is it that we don't understand this as healthcare workers?" Like,
Exactly.
so
Exactly. And
insane.
so I'm really passionate about shifting that culture, whether you are one helper in the organization or you're a leader over the
Yeah,
organization. So the trainings that I do is to help shift that culture, really get an understanding of what is burnout, what is compassion fatigue. We talk about it, but what is it really? How can we equip our staff? How can we equip ourselves in
mhm,
navigating this and shifting the culture so that it helps with productivity, it helps with retention when your people are being taken care of. And this is big for my business because I have a team now. If I can take care of my people and I trust them to do their work, they're going to do their work. Um, Completely. Like I've been in organizations where it's been supportive that way. So,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
another
it's
like
so
really big
funny the
thing for me.
mentality around especially, like, and there's been more conversations about it with the whole, like, work from home
Mhm.
thing being more popular and stuff.
Yep.
People are like, "Well, they're just not working when they're working from home." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you would not believe how much I get done when I'm just left alone." I
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
so much when my brain wants
Exactly.
to.
Right, and that's some people,
So
like,
hard.
work from home is, like, what they need.
And it is, and, like, that's what I mean, like, that's most of my audience, I'm sure, is the people who are either working from home already because that's what they had to do, like, this is a survival thing, or they're working towards working from home because they're getting burnt out with everything else, and it's too much because the we're getting closer. I've had a couple conversations now with a couple people who are working in, like, slightly more, corporate settings, um, and the word is that we are getting closer to creating good environments in corporate spaces. And we are getting closer to understanding things like mental health and burnout and all of those things in those spaces. And a lot of it seems to be because people with chronic illness are finally, more able to speak up about it and ask for adaptions and ask for things, that they need to make it work. And because neurodivergent people are learning more about their brains and how they work, and they're also just being able to come out and say, hey, this way that you're doing things, that you've always done things, sucks. And we need to
Yeah,
change it. And like,
yes,
so collectively, our chronically cozy community seems to be making some changes.
yes, I feel like making waves, and that's
Yes.
why I started my business was that I was dealing well, the burnout kind of exasperated the chronic illness I already have, and I was kind of, like, inkling that, something was going on. And then I call it the burnout incident where I really had to make a decision because my body was literally just breaking down. I was having anxiety, I was having a panic attacks, I was having the chronic fatigue, the brain fog, all these different things that we see with burnout. And
Burnout moments.
yeah, and
Unfortunately, there had to be a few of them. I don't know about you, but there was burnout moments, that were like every one of them should have been the reason I made the change, but it took a few
exactly.
collectively to be able to.
Right, and there's those expectations of like, well, I just gotta push through, or being a loyal employee, you gotta overwork and stay longer and do all these different
Yeah,
things. And it was just like, I remember my therapist sitting me down and she was like, because to me, I was started going to therapy because of the panic attacks and the anxiety and the stuff I was feeling in my body. And I was like, I'm just gonna
yeah,
fix it. We're just gonna go, we're just gonna fix
yeah.
it. And my therapist sat me down after like a month and she was like, Tiffany, when's it gonna get better? And I was like, I don't know. And I like collapsed on her couch And she
Mm.
was like, "You have to make hard decisions for
Yeah,
yourself." She knew the organization that I was working in and gave me some just thoughts to consider of like, they're not gonna change. As much as you want to implement change, this is just not gonna happen. You've already seen how things aren't changing, even though you're advocating for it for your position. What's it gonna take for you to make those changes yourself?
yeah,
And so it was a series of really hard conversations and for me to really feel through, like, am I a failure? Am
yeah,
I, like, giving up? Because I'm a loyal person to a fault. When I'm passionate about something, I tend to, like, stick my heels in and try to figure it out way
yeah,
longer than I need to even stay. So that led me to, for me, it was leaving the organization and starting my business and really, because I really wanted to take care of myself. I wanted to wake up, and if I had really bad brain fog and chronic fatigue, I knew I could like take an extra hour in the morning or I could take the day off if I needed to. And thankfully, I'm at a place where that doesn't happen as much anymore because I have a good rhythm and work in life now. But I remember those times where I felt guilty for like wanting to take the day off or like, why can't I push through this brain fog? Like, I can't think, I'm not being as productive. And
yeah,
um, that shame and guilt that it starts to build up from that. And so,
yeah.
as I started my business, I had to unlearn a lot of that
That's
to
a
be
lot of what I
okay.
do with my clients is, like, helping them unlearn a lot of that, like,
Yeah.
traditional hustle
Mhm.
culture, like, we got really ingrained into it, didn't we? Like,
We really
I
did.
don't even know how, like, I don't even think most of us were paying attention and we got ingrained into it. And,
Yeah. And
like,
it's
that mentality of this is the way we have to do it, and, like, that concept of feeling guilty when you can't. When you can't because, like, for no reason or, like, for no reason that you can control, and we feel guilt and shame about that, like, that's kinda bullshitty, I'm not big on that.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
who ingrained that one into us? Like, that's insane.
Yeah, one of the things I like to talk about in my training is the different types of burnout or the different levels because we think it's us. We think like
Yes.
I can't push harder, I don't have
Yeah,
capacity, there's something wrong with me, but the reality is that we have societal conditioning, we have and I think of workplace culture conditioning, even just the Western mentality of like what is success and climbing the ladder, and this is what we're supposed to do is ingrained in us, and then even take it globally too. And I think of like just women, us as women. What are the expectations on us that put us in
so much
boxes and
more.
spaces
Yeah.
um that really keep us in the hustle culture? I'm supposed to be like this, especially, we saw this huge during COVID because women who had children were coming home, working at home, trying to take care of their kids, and it was like, "What? How messed up is all of that?" Like, I was just, like, blown away by, like, you're expecting them to work a 40-hour job and try to homeschool their kids and just take care of their kids at the same time. I'm like, "Where do you what is happening here? What is happening
Yeah,
here?"
no, COVID brought out so many, like, crazy things like that, like, where we just saw
Exactly.
people do, like and have to do the most like, the wildest thing, which, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna happen in a pandemic,
Sure.
but,
Yeah.
like, the way the expectations were
Yes.
shifted
Mhm.
were highly questionable for
Ex
sure.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
there was someone behind that messing with things. So I'd love to talk about, okay, so like our community here is, chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs who are building their own businesses. So they're not only dealing with all of the like symptoms and the energy fluctuations and the mood swings and the everything to do with having a neurospicy brain, whether it is like ADHD or autism. and they're trying to build a business from home and navigating all of those things. When we talk about what burnout might look like for them, how they might recognize it, and how they might make some changes from that?
Yeah, definitely. There's so much I have to say, so I will
Perfect.
try to keep it together because I'm like, I could talk
No, we're
about
good
this
on time. We're
forever. Yeah, I could talk about this forever because one, I'm
nerd
like,
out
that's
about
me.
it. We love the info dumps around here. That's what we're
Yeah.
here for.
Yes, yes. I was like, that is me. And so the first thing I think about is building a business. You feel like everything is on your shoulders at first. You like the idea and you're like, ooh, I like the idea. Like for me, I was like, I like the idea. I can have my own schedule. I have flexibility. But once you start getting into like the more practical parts of your business, it's like, whoa, I'm not just the CEO. I am the finance person. I am the content creator. I am the email person. I'm the follow upper. I'm the one that's setting my schedule. I'm the one on the calendar.
So
I'm the
many
one
hats.
making all these connections. So I think one of the things as a business owner is to recognize um when like days, times of the month, weeks where you have more energy and capacity, and then put some
Tracking
of
your
those
energy
tasks
for
that you
sure.
really don't like in that space because you have more energy. I think, like, right now, I'm in my follicular phase of my period cycle. I have the most energy during this time. I typically are guests on podcasts or I'm creating content. I'm
Yeah.
doing all these things that I enjoy, but I have a higher capacity for it. A week ago, no way. No way. And so being able to pace yourself, there's this false sense of urgency that also happens. Like, I got to figure out my funnel now. I got to figure out the marketing now. I got to figure out my offers now. I got to figure out how am I bringing income in. And I know some of that is a real thought and a real process, but we have this false sense of urgency that it all has to be done right now. And I'm here to tell you and give you permission. It doesn't even have to be done right now. It
Slow.
doesn't have to.
Slow and
Yes,
steady.
exactly. And it doesn't even have to be done when it's planned because there are days where we plan it and we wake up. Maybe we have a migraine. The brain fog's there. The chronic fatigue is like kicking in. We're not going to be able to do that. And so part of that is like trust. I've been learning a lot over the last year of like trusting my business is still going to be there even when I can't show up in it and really like processing through that. I love journaling. I have a reflective journaling workbook. If you guys are interested, I'll give Randy the
Yeah,
link to
definitely.
it. But I have questions in there that you can ask yourself monthly, weekly, whatever rhythm that you want to do it, just to help you start processing like, how am I feeling? What went well this time? What didn't? Because I feel like self awareness is the first step in making those shifts and changes out of
Yeah.
burnout.
Yes, and I have a bunch of planner pages, like, on my in my shop as well, like, all with that, like,
Yeah.
same intention of just learning to pay attention to the little things, learning to listen to your body, learning to
Yes.
check in the moment. I also have a blog, which hopefully I'll remember to post below as well, uh, about creating a fatigue-friendly schedule, and a lot of that comes down to just, like, being able to, like, wake up in the morning, check in with your body, and then decide what to do.
Yes.
Because, like, I think that that's what really helped me, like, that was that big move that helped me shift out of feeling so burnt out and feeling so frustrated with my business to just, like, going with the flow a little bit easier. I wake up, I look at my list, and then I say, "What do I want to do today?" Instead of, "What do I have to do today?" I'm like, "Okay, what's" You know, I'm low on energy today. Okay, well, then I'll do the boring admin stuff that doesn't take much
Yes.
and get that out of the way. I don't like to use good amounts of energy on boring admin work. I think that that's silly. Good energy, high energy, that's content creation. That's fun stuff. That's conversation.
Yes, definitely. And I like to call it micro moments of wellness. I call them take a moment practices. And these are moments you can take for, I like to say 30 seconds or less, but I also talk about like a minute or less.
Yeah.
A really great deep breath is 10 seconds. So if you do 4 counts in and then you do 4 counts out, 6 counts out, that's 10 seconds. You always want the exhale to be longer than the inhale because that's where the body's going to release. So if all you have is 10 seconds,
Yeah.
lean up against the wall, which is great because it's sensory. So lean
Yeah.
up against the wall. You can put your hands together like this
Okay.
and just
Okay, let's do it.
press. So let's do it together.
Anybody listening, we're gonna take a 10-second deep
10
breath.
seconds.
She's gonna lead us through. Inhale for
Yes.
4, out for
Yep.
6.
Yep. And I'll count you in. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, go for
Inhale.
it. Keep driving.
Yep. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do that as many times as you. In a lot of the coaching that I do, I teach a bunch of those nervous system regulation or what I'd love to do with clients is discover those moments because we have them in our everyday. We just miss them because of the hustle and bustle or we're not paying attention. So I love to like sit with clients and be like, okay, tell me about your day. And then I like to see the little pockets of time that I can find with them of where they can take a moment, where they can find some joy, where they can just like refill or release, because that's where burnout is going to stay away. That's what happens in
Yeah.
my life. Burnout is no longer a thing. Compassion fatigue is no longer a thing in my life because I take those micro moments of
Yeah.
wellness every day. And some days you're going to need more. And
Yeah.
other days, you might need less. You might need the 10 seconds. You might need 30 minutes. Today, I took a nap for 45 minutes. I put on a meditation and just took a nap. I had my timer on. I knew when I had to get up, but I knew this morning I needed the space
That's so
because,
nice.
and then I don't feel bad for taking the nap. I feel recharged. I'm ready to be on this podcast. I saw a client right before this podcast. So, if I
Rest
didn't take
has
it.
to be part of the strategy.
Yes,
Rest
yes,
has to be made
1000%.
a priority. And, like, I say this as a person who hates resting. I hate it
Yeah,
so much.
I know a lot of
I
people who
have such a
don't.
busy brain
Mhm.
and, like, I am a fidgeter and I wanna be doing something all the time, so I'm a really bad rester. But I have found too that, like, a big part of it is not so much making sure that you're doing less, but making sure that you're doing more of, like, that what's fulfilling you. My micro
Yes.
moments are always with my pup. We take him
Yes.
outside, we play with the
Yep,
ball, I get some fresh air. I get to see him running around looking all happy and adorable, and, then
yes.
I like, that recharges me. That's, like, little bit in the day.
Yes, I love that, and that's multisensory. So whenever anytime we can do something that's multisensory to shift from, like, our working time, again, it can only be you could be do it for just a few minutes, and it forces our brains to get out of its way and get into the body and release and have that joy and that sense of like, okay, I think I can go back to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, finding a way to balance. I mean, like, there's like, you get so into it and you're so excited about it, but you have to find that way to like pull it back and balance. And I mean, like, oh man, I am currently at that place. Like, right now, my business kind of is the hobby that I want to do.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
it is the thing that I wanna do for fun, like, it is fulfilling me as well, but, like, I still know that I consciously have to, like, take a little step away from it, otherwise it is gonna burn me out and I am gonna get, like, too much with it, so I
Yep.
have been,
I'm
like, the consciously trying to pull myself away and set myself, like, those boundaries and stuff like that. Um and then having, yeah, those micro moments, like, while you're working, like, makes your days
yes.
feel a lot better. What
Yes. Like
else for the people who have the low, low energy? When they're barely hanging on, they're building their business from bed. what are some of the things that they can do to, keep heads above water and not get to that burnout stage?
Yeah, I think about times where I've been that way.
Mm,
And the biggest thing that I have seen is to have self-compassion and really and see, I even just changed my voice
yeah,
because I was like, I'm tapping into like my self-compassionate voice. We tend to have the inner critic, especially when our brains are or neurospicy. Our brains are like they're clicking. They're clicking the ideas, all the things. It's like even like physically, take a step back. Or if you're laying in bed, just like lean back into your pillow a little bit and be like, you know what? If I just like a few posts on Instagram for my algorithm, then that's enough for today.
yeah.
If I respond to one email, that's enough today. If I do whatever it is, it's
I
okay.
always recommend to chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs to have a bare minimum list. A
Yes.
list that they can refer
Yes.
to that so they don't have to think about it when they're so low on energy and so tired of the things that they can do or need to do to keep their business moving forward that takes the bare minimum. And that's usually things like that, like little bit of engagement on social media, dropping that post, sending that message. And still hard to do, still a bit of a pushing through sometimes, but when you have those little things that make you feel like you're still moving ahead, that can help you feel better into you fall into the rest a little bit better. You're like, okay, I dealt with the thing, I got that thing accomplished. I always find that helps so much in that then I can get into the rest.
Yeah. And I'm at a place in my company where I can hire people. So once I got to that place, I was like, okay, what can I do? Just me. What can I delegate?
Yeah.
What do I need to just get rid of? And like my
What was the
team,
first or who was the first professional you hired?
yeah, I hired a virtual assistant
Nice. Yeah.
because I was like, I cannot pump out all this content all the time. And I even have restructured kind of what I'm doing. But it was like I cannot maintain this level of content creation.
Yeah.
So I need some help when it came to that. And just even setting up the admin part, setting up the systems in the background so
Yeah.
that things could automate. The more we can automate in our business, the better. And so she
Automations
helped
and templates are
huge.
the keys.
Yeah. Yeah, and so having that helped me so much take the weight off of my shoulder. Also, I was very intentional about the questions I was asking her
It's so
when I
important.
interviewed her because I'm not gonna just hire somebody that's not gonna work with me in the way that I know I need to work. So I always tell people when you're interviewing staff, like, ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Ask, like, how do they take initiative? How do they work? Do they like working in teams? Like, how do they communicate? All of those kind of personal, it's almost more character traits more than actually the to-do list. Because
Yeah.
when they have the character, the to-do list is gonna get done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it ends up
so
coming down to a lot about how you connect on that personal level.
exactly. Yes, for sure. And so that was huge for me to be like, now I have people in place.
Yeah,
I can step away and I don't even have to engage if I don't want to on the days that I am super low capacity. So I know not
too
everybody is
good.
at that place, and I wasn't for a
Yeah,
long time. I was in my business probably 3.5 years before I hired somebody.
yeah,
But I have
yeah,
learned like when I got to that place, like that was super important for me to start delegating those tasks that felt draining.
mhm. And that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to build my directory too.
Yes,
And I
yes.
wanna, collect all the business service providers in
Yes.
there so that when I'm ready to, delegate something, I just have, a whole list of people who they're gonna understand the chronic illness and the neurodivergence because they're there. And
Yeah.
that became, like, a really important thing to me, like, when I started my first business, like, 9 years ago, I started off as a virtual personal trainer. Um, and I started, working with people and coaches and stuff like that. And I so quickly realized that it is very important if you're building a business with a chronic illness and a neurodivergent brain to work with somebody who understands those things. Because, like, sure, a neurotypical person could tell you a lot of the different business strategies and stuff out there. But then when you say something, crazy like, well, but what do I do when my brain just decides it's going to do something else? Or what do I do when I just can't make that happen? Or everybody has like low energy and capacity. They have to have like the answer for it. And like so many people don't. And that was one of
Right.
the things that, like,
Or they
pushed me into getting into doing what I do now, is just, like, I wanted to be, like I met so many people who just didn't understand. I'm like, "Nah, I wanna be the person that understands."
exactly.
And, like
Yes.
and getting into it, I keep meeting people like you. We all just wanna be the person who understands. Like, so many of us get into these jobs where we wanna be in this, like, compassionate role because we understand.
Exactly.
So common.
Exactly. It really is.
So the burnout with neurodivergence. Can we
Yeah.
talk about that for a second? Because obviously, like,
Yes.
burnout in general is difficult, but
Yeah.
when you have that neurospicy brain that is also hard to control because obviously, like, we know what we should do. There's so many times where I know what I should do. Can't do it. What kind of tips do you have for the people like that?
Yeah. Oh, I keep going back to what I just said earlier because I feel like it's the foundation before we get into like the tips and tricks. It's how you believe about
Yeah.
yourself. And it's going back to that place of self compassion of like, it's okay that your brain
Yeah.
got stuck and it froze. Or it's okay that there's so much you feel like you should. So should statements. I tell people to stop shoulding on themselves
Yeah.
because should is a shame statement
Yeah.
and it attacks the identity. And so we want to course correct. Like I could do this, but maybe I don't feel like doing it today. Or I want to, but my brain is stuck right now in this moment. And there's a term that I have recently been researching. It's called functional freeze. So it's like you are still functioning, you're still
Yeah.
doing stuff, but internally you're stuck.
Yeah. That's when you get stuck in the scroll or just
Yes.
watching TV and, like, rotting in bed and can't quite make yourself
Yes.
move.
Exactly. And so
Uh,
where the self-compassion comes in, it helps you feel like it's okay.
yeah,
Bed rot, scroll, do the thing, and then we're going to try to pivot in the next hour, the
yeah,
next day, the next whatever you're feeling. I think I know that for me, like having routine is really helpful so that when I get stuck, I can pivot, but also
mhm,
I don't have to think about like, what am I going to do when I get stuck? So it's not like
yeah,
you said of having, a bare minimum list. I
yeah,
think like when your brain is getting really spicy, you almost have like a spicy brain list
yeah,
too of
that's smart.
things that you can, feel like you can do. For me, it was just like, I just need to take a step back for a moment, and I need to be kind to myself because the
You know
inner
what I
critic
think?
is so
The
loud.
taking a step back is not talked about enough
I
because, like,
agree.
obviously we wanna grow, we wanna be pushing forward and all of those things, like and
Yeah,
I want that for you. But
yeah,
sometimes the biggest, most powerful thing you can do is taking that step back and saying, "What can I drop for now? Doesn't have to be permanently. What can I drop for now? What can I take off my plate? Can I take a break? Like, can I just stop for a minute?"
yes, yeah,
And,
and
like,
really,
most of the time you can, and it's
yeah,
not going to crush your career. It's not gonna
yes,
crash your business.
exactly. And
It's
I
still
think
gonna be there.
too that I think I always like to say taking a step back actually propels you forward.
Yes.
because when we take those like you said earlier about rest needs to be part of the strategy, like, that's part of that taking a step back, like, it's okay. Give yourself permission to take that step back, give yourself a breather, let's
Go slowly.
reevaluate. Yeah, be kind. I know a
You
lot of
can
people I
do
talk to.
one thing a day and just do
Exactly.
one thing a day. And then
Yeah.
you're still doing the things and moving forward.
Exactly, and I've been in my business long enough to know that I've taken days,
Yeah,
I've taken half days, I've taken moments, I've taken so many times, even struggling with myself of taking that time, I
yeah,
still took it, and my husband has been a huge proponent in the beginning of, like, just encouraging me, like, "Hey, it's okay, your business is gonna be there." And so that has been a huge support for me of like, okay, he was helping me rewire the inner critic because the inner
yeah.
critic is like, is the should. You should be doing this. Why aren't you doing that? You're going to be behind.
So much
FOMO.
love to the supporters who remind us to slow
Yes.
down and remind us that it's okay to take the breaks
Yes.
and that it's okay to stop once in a while. And also that, Randy, you should probably put your laptop away. It's 9 p.m.
Exactly. Yes. I'm huge. I
I
have
mean,
a
I
friend of
love it, but sometimes I'm like, but I'm doing a thing.
I know. And it feels good. Like our brain, like it tickles our brain when we do things that we love. And so it's like that dopamine hit of like, I just want to keep
Yeah,
doing one more thing, one more article, but
yeah.
um
I think I
taking
have found that with the neurospicy part of my brain, when I know that like that part's just feeling really burnt out, finding those hits can
yes,
help
that
me just,
too.
like, reset and rewire, like, it's a little
Yes.
re-energizer. So, like,
Yeah.
I have found, recently, if I can work in things like shows that I like or, comfy clothes or music
Yes.
or fun lights or whatever, like, something that gives me that extra dopamine hit, a good snack,
Yes.
those are the things that, like, are kinda like, you just they're so small. They're so small,
They
but they just,
are.
like, make me so happy.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
And I
That's
love
like I
it.
have where is my little for those of you, I don't know if we're videoing or audioing, but I have my little Grogu popper. I love
Nice.
him.
I
And so
love
he's
that.
my little like, if I need to take a little bit of break I love stuff like this or, like, squishy things, sensory toys, like, anything like that to
Yeah.
anything that's gonna bring you joy
Yeah.
and, like, just give you a little bit of inspiration, um, to
Making
keep
your
you going.
space feel motivational too really helps. I have,
Yeah.
like, my cozy little office and, like, my husband thinks it's weird, but it's like a little, like it's a dark little den, and that's what I want. I just wanna be this little gremlin all day without the sun. I'll go see the sun later, but while I'm working, I like it to be, like, quiet and dark, and I have my, like, fun lights, and
That's
I
awesome.
have, like, another computer that I have my TV show going, another thing that a lot of people think is weird, but, like, it takes the, like, part of my brain that would otherwise get distracted and get annoyed with having to do the boring work,
Yep.
and it
It
just, like,
occupies that.
makes it better. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I have music on when I do I've looked into, like, sound frequencies and different types of music, which you
yeah,
like, feel free to nerd out on that, I love nerding out on that as far as, like, just researching it, I'm still in the process of,
yeah.
like, really understanding it, but it helps. Different sound frequencies will help your brain focus, and it also gives like you said with your TV show, it gives that little distraction, in order for you to focus.
I always kind of consider my neurodivergence, like, I just, like I picture them as 2 little, like, people in my brain. I've got my little autistic person and my little ADHD person. When I put a show on for the ADHD person, the autistic person can focus on what
Can
we're supposed
focus.
to be doing, and
Yeah, yeah,
then you can watch TV for a little while. It's usually cartoons
yeah.
too, so I mean, it's like the child, right? So
Yes,
cute.
I love that though.
Oh my gosh. Tiffany, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about burnout. I am honestly, like, even just thinking about it, feeling tired now. Like, I need to go rest. I don't know about anybody else. Please, can you tell our people where to find you?
Yes, yes. So I am primarily on Substack. So my Substack has the articles and my podcast that's on there. I am on Facebook as well. I'll give Randy all the links to put in the show
Yeah.
notes. And then I have my email list as well. I've hopped off of a lot of social media just because it's not what I need to do. It keeps me in
Yeah.
hustle culture. I will say I am on Threads. I've been trying out Threads because it's a little different. I think that's where we met.
Yeah, that's
Um,
usually I think most of the people I've talked to on this podcast, we've had a conversation about meeting on Thread.
yeah, so I really love that. So I'm trying that platform out because it still feels aligned with how Substack feels to me.
Yeah,
So,
it's a nice
yeah.
community.
Yeah, and then you can go onto our website at seethewonder.net. We have all the information and all the things there of what we do, and
Love it.
we'd love to have you a part of our community.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank
If
you.
anybody else wants to come and share their story and tips for the chronically exhausted entrepreneurs out there, all of the links to get onto the podcast are down below. Please check them out, and I will see you all next week. Bye.